Welcome, welcome, patrons. You guys asked for more dwarf content, so here it is. Let's talk about Tug. Wait, where are you going? Come back. It's interesting, I promise. Just give me a second. Tug. If you have no idea who I'm talking about, then you haven't played everyone's favorite Dragon Age Origins DLC, Liliana's Song. Tug is the first warrior companion you get in the game, until he dies, because why not? Liliana mentions that she knows little about the man she knew as Tug, and he is described as a person who held his cards close to his chest. The tattoos on his face are described by Liliana as being casteless markings, although unique ones, and they don't really look like any casteless markings I have seen. It's said that Tug got his nickname for stealing fine silks from the nobles and using them for, activities.
Well, I'd just take my money and run back to Orlais. I have a girl I'm ruining for her chevalier husband.
Or at least stating that he does, for the look of shock and horror on his friends' faces. But, alright, let's be honest here, Tug isn't that interesting. Until he dies. After Tug dies, you're able to collect his things from a chest nearby. In them is an item called Tug's Edge. The item is described as not looking Dwarven, and the actual item description says this. Telltale notches sow the violence of the weak. The gold disc in the grip is gone, sold by Raleigh's men. But thoughtful hands can feel an inscription previously hidden. The stone lives beneath Orlais. The stone lives beneath Orlais. In World of Thedas Volume 2, there is a letter from Liliana to the Elven Mage Sketch. In it, she begs him to help her learn more about Tug, specifically what the engravings on his items meant. This letter later goes on to say that she had heard the phrase, the stone lives beneath Orlais before. I'm not sure where Liliana had heard it, but we have. In Dragon Age 2, there is a secret store in Sundermount run by a golem. When you talk to him, he says a few various interesting things, like this.
Amgarak tapped the blood, spilled within the stone. We were once more than we are.
But he also says this.
The stone lives beneath Orlais. Matas Garna Fornan Pasal Roka Atrust.
Now, before we try to figure out what he said at the end there, let's jump back to Liliana's letter. Liliana tells Sketch that there was another carving, one that she doesn't tell people about, aka why it wasn't in the DLC. And it reads, Mathas Garna Formen Pa Tot Istenol. She goes on to say this. The literal is nonsense. I'm sorry, sacrifice, one at my side, death, ... The last word is unknown. I have heard the first part from strange places, ending instead in Pa Soraka Atrost, which is the slightly less meaningless at my side find your way in the dark. It seems to mean I regret the sacrifice of my kin, but it means we will find our way home, which rings as defense of Orzamar's abandonment of Cal Shirok and perhaps of how Tug acted for you when you were both captured. I find that comforting, but I am sure I am wrong. It is too easy, too simple. Tug was not simple. This is something older. It is a secret, or it is gibberish. So Liliana has deciphered this for us, except for the last word on Tug's axe, Istenol. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this word sounds familiar.
What needs to be protected all the way down here?
Satanal. Satanal. Cut our tongues, entomb our bodies, watch over the Titan until it stirs. So the warriors who attacked us must be the Shabertal.
So, does Tug have something to do with the Shabertal then? There is also a shield of the same name, and has this inscription on it. The unyielding angles and planes of the shield channel protection like that of the stone itself. It bears an uncanny resemblance to the walls of a lost fortress in the Deep Rose, as if it has been pried from a bulwark. So could Istenol be the Dwarven word for the stone? If that is the case, then Tug's inscription would read something like this. I regret the sacrifice of my kin, but it means we will find our way to the stone, which would match the stone being alive in Orlais. So what does this mean about Tug? Liliana mentions that she cannot find any trace of Tug in Orzammar, which, duh Liliana, he's castless, but anyway, I think this is a hint to us. That Tug was never from Orzammar. I believe that Tug is from the hidden Dwarven city of Cal Shirok. Now, why do I think that? In Dragon Age Inquisition, there are a few war table missions involving this mysterious group of dwarves, the first being called Dwarven Slaves in Venatory Hands. In this, the Inquisition meets and works with people from Cal Shirok. These war table missions are located on the Orlesian side of the map. We can't be certain what the stone lives in Orlais means. Perhaps it's a rallying cry for the Dwarven people of Cal Shirok, that they are the true children of the stone compared to Orzammar. Or perhaps Cal Shirok has been living quietly all this time in protection of a living titan. And I don't think this is the same Titan we, I guess, meet in the Descent, as where it is located on the map is mostly in Ferelden compared to Orlais. And all of this is assuming that when the dwarves say the stone, they mean a Titan. Overall, I get a feeling that what this means will become more relevant later on, but for right now we are left holding a bunch of puzzle pieces, and we don't know what the picture they are trying to make is yet. And that, dear patrons, is all that we know on Tug. See, I told you it got interesting. At least I hope you think it did. Anyway, do you still have lingering questions, proof that I'm wrong, comments about your own fan theory? Feel free to tweet me at @Gilderthon on Twitter or send a PM to user Gilderthon on Reddit. The rest are all.